Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, it's a fun day in the world of the Dudes at Ringside because I have another awesome wrestler from the Great Northwest. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Anna Minnushka. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, Anna. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, if my fans from the States are not familiar, with you, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Anna Minnushka. I'm a wrestler from Montreal, Quebec, in Canada. I've been wrestling since 2002, but I got a 7-year period of time that I wasn't wrestling. I quit wrestling. And since there's no retirement in wrestling, I came back last year to just have fun again.
Awesome. So, who trained you when you first started out?
I started out in 2002. My first trainer was Mark de Grizzly. He was one of the trainers that were famous here because I was in NCW back then, federation, an indie federation, and he was the main trainer over there. So we started training. And at one point, he was like, I don't have time anymore to train people, so you'll have to find someone else. And I went to one of his students, Mr. Cobra, and I said to him, we have a match on Challenge Mania, our biggest show of the year, Challenge Mania 11, and I don't want to be a manager who wrestles. I want to be a wrestler. So you train me to be a wrestler. And it started like that.
Wow, that's awesome. So, where did you come up with this idea for Anna Minnushka? Like, was it something your coach told you, or something you thought of?
No, it wasn't. It was proposed to me like at the beginning. I was a manager for a Russian wrestler. I was a translator for him. I'm not Russian in any kind of way, but I was supposed to do the Russian translator for the crowd. Yeah. And my gimmick started all like that. So that's why my name sounds a little Russian. We had the Minnushka thing back then for that.
Okay, cool. Like, it's crazy to say this with like a language gap nowadays in wrestling. Do you find it easier or harder when it comes to like an American wrestler coming into like your territory? And sometimes there's a lot of different rosters when it comes to wrestling. Like when you go to different parts of Canada, do you find a different dialect and you have to like really like learn the language?
Well, my first language is French, so at the start I have something to adjust with the other wrestlers, but I'm quite okay with like if we talk about wrestling and stuff, I pretty much know the words and stuff, so I'm okay with that. But it's easier for me when they come here because all the other people speak French. So if I have something or a problem, I can go to someone else and ask for help. Instead of me going there, I might be the only one who speaks French, so I have to go on my own.
So pretty much, if there's a group of regular like American wrestlers that show up at your show and they don't speak French, I guess you have to be like their interpreter for the night. They're like,
no, we speak English. We started
okay. There's a lot of people that I mean. There's a lot of people that go to like example, like the people that go to Mexico, and they only know like Chad GPT, and they're like they have that one friend that speaks American English and Spanish, and they're talking to the booker, and they're like
yeah.
What are they saying? And they can totally make them look foolish. Like, oh, they just said you're gonna get booked, and then they find out their match is against a guy that it's a deathmatch wrestler. like, oh yeah, and like you can just like totally throw your friends off. They're all speaking they don't speak a lick of French, and then they got booked on the show, and it's like who am I wrestling tonight? Oh, you're wrestling the great Tantini, and he's like a trans wrestler that uses a steel chair as a local weapon. What the hell did you put me in this match for?
Yeah, you didn't mention that.
Got it. He said yes. So I saw your outfit has a lot of like leopard and like black and white. Was that always the original idea for your outfit, or there was like other ideas?
No, at the beginning, like since I was a translator, I was more of a coat, a leather coat, and more with a hat to be more in the Russian thing. But my gimmick started to change because at some point I was going on the tiger side of the gimmick, because I wanted to bring something like really aggressive and wild to my gimmick, because I was bigger than most of the girls in Quebec. So I wanted to add something a little more, and we started to go with the tiger gimmick after that.
So is there any wrestlers that are in Canada or abroad, like any parts of Canada that you've seen on the social medias that you really want to work with, they haven't had a chance to work with yet?
I haven't, but I'm pretty much open to anybody. I like to discover new people. I like to work with different people. I've met a lot of people too, so I had the chance to work with Rosemary back then.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were wrestling a couple of matches together, so we had fun. And I saw her back when TNA came in Montreal. I saw her, and we were glad to see each other, because I was happy for her where she is now, and I know all the work she did for that. So even if I work with anybody, I'm gonna be happy about it, and I'm gonna make the best of it.
Yeah. So Jessica Black's been on this podcast like maybe like 2 to 3 times. How was she like to work with? She's such a smooth worker. Like, she's been in the business for a while.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It was my first time with her, working a match together. We had fun. We planned a little something, and we kind of went for the gimmick. Like, me is the big girl, and her kind of kinky. Like, yeah, she wants to do things under, and she wants to have me like she's quicker than I am. So that's the way we went for the match.
Awesome. Yeah, Jessica Black. I remember when she came on the podcast, she was training in the States. She was somewhere in the States. She was on the front porch of a house that she was at. And it was so funny to interview somebody on the front porch. And then I get Randy West, and she's doing her interviewed on the front porch of her house. So I was like, that's the second time somebody actually interviewed on the front porch. It was like I walked up with my camera and a microphone, and I'm like, okay, Randy, we're gonna interview you on the front porch. Just hold this microphone. I'm gonna be that's what it felt like. It was like, should I be alarmed that if someone walked by and like it was like a paper boy, it was a morning interview, that she was gonna get hit in the head with a newspaper? Like,
exactly.
Like, you're in Canada. Do I call the Mounties? Like, who do I call? It's not America. It was like, do you guys have? It's so funny because I'm like, I know in the States we have police, like the state police and everything. Because I live in upstate. I live in Pennsylvania. We have state police here. Is there regular police in Canada, or is it just the Mounties? Like, what?
No. We have regular police. We have like every big city has its home police.
Okay.
Otherwise, the province who provide the police officers when it's a little less crowded. So we have our own police. And it's not the Mounties all the time that we see it.
All right, I was just wondering. I was like, wait, I gotta phone a friend. I gotta ask a Canadian this question. Right, he's trying to sound like a foolish moron. Americans, you know nothing about Canada, Joe. Nope, I've never been there, and I do want to go. Like, I've heard so many good things. I've heard so many good things, Anna, about the Canadian wrestling scene from my friend. Love him, love his family, George McKee. Like he's such a good guy from Straight Talk podcast. You know, this year sadly they're taking they're ending the era on Straight Talk, and I remember when I first started 4 years ago that we had him and his daughter on, and it was such a blast. And it's like again, whenever this episode is going to air in July. So George, if you're watching this, George, thank you for the memories, dude. You're such a good podcaster, such a nice person, and your family always so fun to interview you and Mini host. So again, good luck to you and your family on the journey outside after podcasting. You're always welcome back. You know, if you don't come back, Mini host, you're watching this some reason, girl, you got this popped up on your YouTube, like, oh god, get him out of here. Throw him in the bathroom. She's like, oh god, Chuck, I can't stand that little Joe. So short. But yeah, George, Mini host, thank you guys for the memories. I don't know if you know that podcast, Straight Talk.
Which podcast?
That was from Canada. They're Canadian. Straight Talk.
I don't listen to podcasts actually. I'm not familiar with the thing yet.
All right, we're done. Just kidding. That's it. Good night, everybody.
Hey, you're my first.
Oh.
So you got to be happy about it.
Yeah. So here we go. I have an interesting question. It's like I've asked this to other wrestlers, Anna. So like the week of a show, do you have to have your bags and your merch like set in like an area to know what you're bringing with you to that certain show, like outfit wise, and like your gym bag? Do you have to have that packed the week before the week of a show, or you have it already knowing what you're wearing and what you're bringing?
Well, I'm washing my stuff like everybody does, but all my stuff is always in my suitcase.
Okay.
I'm my suitcase everywhere, and all my stuff is there. So I just have to take my costume, wash it, and put it back after. So all the rest is there, and it doesn't move, so I don't forget anything at home.
Like I've asked this to other wrestlers because I know your gear, the wrestling gear, is really expensive. Yes. Do you wash it a certain way?
It depends. Like I have my big fur tiger coat. I just put it outside with the wind because I cannot wash it. It's gonna the white is gonna go because all the black will spread over. But otherwise, I put it in little bags that you put in your washer. So I put it in little bags, and then I put them to dry on the hanger.
Okay, because I know wrestlers that. Danny Moe from the States, she takes her gear and sticks it in the tub with like cleaner, and it just lets it sit in the tub, and then she'll dry all her stuff. But I've heard so many stories, like some wrestlers are I just toss it in the wash machine. Well, I can think that's gonna end wrong. Like the gear's gonna be crooked, it's gonna come out looking like you have to put it on. Now it doesn't fit anymore. You have to put it on a teddy bear. Your kid's like, well, mommy can't wear these tights anymore. Here, honey, you got me. But you can look like mommy now. like, do you go to a special place to get your gear made?
I had someone who I known from my entourage was doing things like that. So I've asked her, but it's not a known person. But recently I went to Magic Box. He's the one doing many of the gears in Quebec, and he's really good. And I asked him for another fur coat because mine is a little old, and I would like to have another one.
So when it comes to like the day of a show, do you have to pack a lunch/dinner? Because after the shows, I know you guys get out late, like 12, 1 o'clock, tops 2 o'clock after breakdown. So do you bring a dinner with you, or do you go out with the fellas after the show to eat dinner?
I usually eat a little bit before going to the venue. And after the show, I'm most of the time I go to the restaurant with the guys. Okay. It's like a tradition.
Yeah. Where's that spot that you guys always go to?
Back then, when I was with NCW, we always ended up at Jerry's Smoke Meat. And back then the NCW was kind of more a family than just an indie federation. So we were like really close, and it was kind of going home after the show, going to eat at Jari's. And even now that it has changed, a lot of people have left or quit wrestling. We still have once a year we go back to that same restaurant to have talk about memories or where we're at now. So yeah, we had that spot specific for us.
Awesome. I'm from the States. Is there anywhere you would recommend to my fans if they come to Canada, come to the area you always go to? Is there any restaurants you recommend to anybody?
Well, the smoked meat is really good at Jari's. It's their specialty. So you would have to try that for sure.
So what is that? I'm from the States. I don't know a lot of things from Montreal. So what's that food that you would say you have to have this when you come to Montreal?
A smoked meat sandwich, a big smoked meat sandwich like that big. Yeah, and you have to eat a good part to be sure, because when they give it to you, you're like, okay, it doesn't even fit in my mouth, and you gotta do something with the bread and stuff to just to be able to put it in your mouth, but it's delicious.
There's a place in New York City that you would probably appreciate. The place is called Katz's Delicatessen. It's like a Jewish deli that's been around for hundreds of years. When you said this, like my hand, wait, this big,
Yeah.
That's how big their sandwiches are at Katz's. And their sandwiches are pastrami or corned beef, like this. Just, I don't know now, but I'm talking before COVID.
Yeah.
Sandwiches were $20 at that
Wow.
place. And they were this big. And if you look it up online, whoever's watching this, they're going to probably pause the video and go to the browser and look it up. Katz's Delicatessen in New York City.
Okay.
And Harry Met Sally. Have you ever seen that movie?
Sally? Yeah.
Harry Met Sally?
Yeah.
That scene when she says, "I'll have when she's going, oh yeah. That's Katz's in the background.
Okay.
That's the deli. Well, their sandwiches are enough to like split. They get the meat and everybody wants to try a piece of pastrami. Go on their Instagram when you're done with me. Katz's Delicatessen. Every day they post a new post about making a sandwich, a pastrami sandwich, and they use a whole pastrami like loaf. It comes out of the smoker. They cut the meat with a knife.
Oh yeah.
So it's not cut with a slicer. No slicer there. They use the knife, fresh knives, cut it up and put it on the sandwich. It's like, I'm just like, when you said that, I'm like, oh God, I hope that meat is pastrami. Like something. I'll be looking over the counter watching them make the sandwich. Like, you're not using a knife. Throw them in the bathroom. New York on him. Hey, what are you doing over there? Hey.
That's not properly done.
Don't throw me in the bathroom. You're not from Canada. Get him. Give me your red glasses. They're my trademark. No. Anna, that's so awesome. I'm so glad I had you on the podcast. If my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
Mainly it's my Instagram, Anna Minnushka, where I post most of my stuff. I used to have a website, but since I've retired in 2014, I let that go. So I won't have it back. But my Instagram is the main place to find me.
Awesome. Do you have any merch if anybody want to pick on anything, want to buy anything of yours?
Yes, I have pictures that I bring at shows, and I wish I'll be able soon to have t-shirts also.
Ooh, okay. Anna, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. If there's any fans out there that wanted to be professional wrestlers, like you took the journey you did, what kind of advice would you have for them?
I would tell them to believe in themselves. They have to learn things. They will make mistakes, and they gotta always be coachable. It's not because you have 10 years in the background that you cannot be taught something. So always stay coachable.
Awesome. Anna, again, I want to thank you so much. I almost lost my voice saying goodbye. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Anna. It was an honor and pleasure. I hope to have you back on before the year's out, or maybe next year we want to do a part 2. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah, it
Don't
was
forget to
fun.
please tell your wrestling friends. This was so much fun. I'm Joe Panther III.
Anna Minnushka.
And we will catch you in the next one.